Guys, it's Tom Bucks. Welcome to MST.TV. This is going to be my remote duel invitational, report, because I didn't really get featured on there, so I might as well showcase with you guys what happened on my end, since it seems to be a bit of a mystery to you guys. But before I do anything like that, apparently, I have to do a giveaway. So this is a giveaway that I'm giving away. I'm giving away this beautiful playmat. Okay, I'm giving away this beautiful playmat, which is the remote duel exclusive. I think this is the one. This isn't the one that you get in the store. I think the one that people get in the store would be the one that you'll see very soon in this quick deck profile to show you guys what did I play in the remote duel invitational. And I'll even share with you guys the stories of what went on from day 0 all the way to, I guess, well, day 1 for me. And so if you guys want to get this beautiful playmat, which I was supposed to give away a while back, but apparently it was lost. Or rather, it got stuck in shipping, thanks FedEx, but finally it's here, so I can actually give away this mat. In fact, I'm giving away both of these mats together, so there's only going to be one winner that's going to get both of these, so make sure you check out the giveaway link down in the description. And you know what, let's start off with the deck profile, and actually we'll start off with because technically there's 2 decks that I play, one for the rehearsal and one for the actual tournament. Alright guys, so for my mysterious tournament report reveal, here's how it went down. So I'm gonna go with day 0 all the way to day 1, since I didn't make day 2 anyway. So I played these 2 decks here. This is for the rehearsal, this was my actual deck, and this is Necrophase Tempest, which I played against Blair Hunter during the rehearsal day. I'll cover all of my tournament play, or all the rounds I went through. And this is, of course, I represented the Rock Squad, because we all want Block Dragon banned. So the more you play it, the more likely it will get banned, so that's why that's there. Aside from that, I actually really enjoy the Rock deck, on the other hand. But let's start with day 0, which was the rehearsal tournament. I played against Blair Hunter, and it was just a 1-round thing because, well, there was a lot of technical difficulties. But the deck that I did play was Battle Fader. Well, this was the Inferno Tempest Necrophase Grenmaju deck, which is very different from the other Grenmaju deck, which is Golden Castle and Dangers. This one, I did beat Blair. In fact, this is not the first time I've ever played against Blair. I played Blair the very first time on a Yu-Gi Tuber Grand Championships a while back in 2017, and then 2018 I played him in person at a WCQ, where I played against him during the day 0 event to get the giant card, right? And then this is my actual I guess another time playing against him, but this one was like the rehearsal tournament, so it was just more or less just for fun. He was playing his roommate's deck, which was Dogmatica Infernoids, which was very scary. The way that it set up the entire board, once you get out of Void Feast, there's just so many things on board, while still having the Dogmatica stuff. I find that to be very threatening. I think it's a very legitimate deck overall. This deck, however, doesn't care about most of that stuff, and the way I ended up beating him because I used stuff like Mystic Mine, and actually Battle Fader was MVP for the game too, because he had the full Boral Sword attack for game combo, where when he tried to attack, I Battle Fadered him out, and then I dropped the Mystic Mine, and then I turned the Battle Fader into Relinquish Anima, absorbed the, baited out a card to absorb the Boral Sword, so that baited it out, only for me to go into Pot, into Grenmaju, into Eater of Millions, and to Gizmek, and attack for game. So that's kind of how it went down. He had a full board because of the Void Feast, so the Mystic Mine was able to control a lot of the game. And the other game, somehow, I don't think he actually had an out against I failed to resolve my Pot of Desires twice, to the point that I played the 3rd one, then I normal summoned this one to recover all my cards, making it significantly huge, to the point that I Kaiju Slumbered, and then I dropped this, and then this basically did the damage, and there was just no way for me to die. But then he scooped it up, so I really didn't know how that one would actually have turned out. But the thing about Dogmatica is that if you're able to push through by having high attack, which is why the Grenmaju deck is so strong, is because they can't Entis you. Remember, Dogmatica Punishment needs to target a monster, and then they have to send a monster from their extra deck with attack equal to or higher than. So if you send something with 2550 or 26, such as like a Pancratops, it's hard to out, which is why Pancratops is also such a good side deck card. And that's kind of my mentality going in, trying to beat the Dogmatica stuff, because Punishment is a very game controlling card. Being able to pop 2 cards mid combo, it's equivalent to, say, like a Salamangreat Rage. That card just pops 2 basically most of the time, and it feels the exact same way. And the thing is, it's a searchable card. It doesn't have any sort of monster contingency. It's really powerful. But overall, this deck is what I used during the rehearsal, and it is actually going to come back to bite me. And if you guys want to know, I did tune this to deal with a bit more with the Dogmatica stuff, so I'll give you guys a deck profile next time. This is just a tournament report. I know this deck, yes, it is viable to actually play against that deck. It does have a weakness like that. If you're able to clear off the punishment, you should be able to win the game. Okay, now to the actual round 1. Let's move this over here. You know, let's pause. No, guys, let's play. This is my rock. This is my rock squad. I wish I changed a part of the build knowing how I did, but I did finish like, well, basically I finished X3. It's a 1-3, and I'll give you the full profile on this one first. Of course, triple block dragon. I'll talk about like some of the weird choices later on. Triple block dragon. This is no biggie. This is like, you have this. You shouldn't lose if you have it, but if you do somehow let it get ashed, that's gonna suck. Doki Doki. Triple Doki. Against Xu, I'll tell you guys a funny story about that one in a bit. Triple Researcher, everything here is really, really standard. Triple Analyzer, there's nothing fancy about that. Triple Seeker, Triple Guardian, 1 Supplier. Kind of wish I ran a second one, or maybe I kind of wish I cut something else, but it's a nice card to have to cause a bit of chain blocking, especially when you have it set up. When you're about to do the Krishan Khalifa play, when they have Ash or something, they can't hit this card, which is why I think it's actually quite nice, because this will be Chainlink 1, Needle Fiber, Chainlink 2, you're going to go with this, so it's there for you to create a bit of a block. Triple Adhara, because it's the free special summon tuner, 1 Revival Golem for you to send to the graveyard with Miracle Rupture. Weeping Idol is a nice 2 in case you need to push for a level 2 to actually continue your combo. It's just there just because it's another rock monster that's a free special summon. Once you are mid combo, it has to be a tuner, so it's not exactly an ideal draw, and you cannot ditch this card with the Doki Doki. It has to match type and attribute. And next we have Gigantes. I actually ran 2 Gigantes. People were talking me out of actually running 2. It came up multiple times where I actually needed the second one as like an additional body to push, because you're able to get out 2 tuners, but you know that you're going to get boned if they stop when you get rid of both of them and you don't have an extra body left. You can't use it. So the extra Gigantes was helping me to bait out stuff when I went into a Galling Granite, because I just had the extra body. And when they thought that I couldn't search another copy to push the combo forward, I just searched it again with Block Dragon and just dropped the board again. And actually, that's how some of the combos actually went through. 1 Tackle, this and your 1 O-Line and 1 Destruction Sword. It just makes a lot of sense if you're gonna deal with something like someone's like going to be synchroing. Although I kind of wish I did not main this one, because it was just not necessary. There was just Dogmatica, Eldritch just everywhere, and they just focused more on like more of a control play style. This was unnecessary unless you're dealing with like a combo matchup. And then 1 Beta, shoutouts Nishi for hooking me up, because neither you or I have any other copy except for this one, so appreciate for you lending me. Angel Trumpeter MVP, I would say. Really, really strong card. Actually helped me. I think it was one of the reasons why I almost beat Aaron Furman. I went into time against Aaron Furman in round 1. That's actually the reason why I lost. I actually because of this, I was able to eat through the Token Collector. And I have Foolish Bro, Miracle Rupture, Triple Die, Midfield Breaker to prevent my stuff from being destroyed / targeted, and Triple Imperm. I did not run Droplets. I kind of wish I did not play 40. I wish I actually played above 40 for this particular instance. As for the extra deck, there's nothing really special about the extra deck. The extra deck is super like standard. I don't think there's anything special. 4 Synchros. Here's the 4 Synchros. This is pretty standard. I don't think there's anything difficult about it. You guys might be wondering, what about Dragite? You don't need Dragite for most cases. It does kind of conflict sometimes, but honestly, you don't need Dragite. Dragite is actually nice when you can actually pair it with a Block Dragon. If you pair with Block Dragon, that Dragite is going to kill your opponent because they can't pop it, and you have that negation against your opponent. And then as for the Xyz, this is my Xyz lineup. That's it. This is basically the standard rock, and of course 1 Abyss Dweller, 1 Gallant for the last little bit. Side deck wise, CosmicCyclone.TV. Well, I kind of wanted to play another copy of Cosmic Cyclone, which is why I did not want to run 40, because I actually wanted to main deck this card, Red Reboot, and I've double a pointer of the Red Lotus just in case I get, well, I want to rip out some cards that could break my board potentially, or just take away the Ecclesia so they can't get into the punishment. Like, if you take away the punishment, it's not that scary, or maybe just take away something that would actually break your board. It's really useful. Pankratops, probably the best monster in the side deck because it's strong. It can deal with the Dogmatica stuff. Triple Lightning Storm because I saw this against Paul. I didn't see any other round. I didn't really play against very many combo decks, so I never had a chance to use my token collectors. And Triple Nibiru, I had a talk with Shunping Xu. Xu said, he's like, you should just main deck this card. Like, Xu and Cody were the two guys that main decked Nibiru, whereas I believe most of the other guys did not in this. So yeah, there's the deck profile. And you know what, let's get into like the rounds. So round one, against Aaron Furman, he was playing, I can't remember what he was playing. No, he was playing Dogmatica. He was playing Dogmatica Eldritch, and game one, I full comboed. He did not actually have a hand trap, so basically he just let me go off. He tried to play a couple cards, and then basically we just moved on to the next round. This first round, I think I was playing a bit slow, to be honest, and that's probably what cost me in the long run, because we're really conscious about like playing our cards in the right zone, making sure that everything is in the correct way. I had to look at his board as if I was playing myself, which did kind of slow me down, but it was also making it easier for me to read. I just have to make sure the columns were in the correct spots because of imperm, because I made imperm. But game one, I full comboed. Game two, I actually died. Couldn't do too much against his board. He actually set up really strong. And then game three, I ate a token collector midway through my combo, but I continued to push through it. I actually got into a disadvantageous position at one point after the token collector, where he actually started to beat me down with Dogmatica cards. But then what saved me, oh my god, I did not expect that Angel Trumpeter was the one that would save me. I used Angel Trumpeter to beat down the Ecclesias. So the Ecclesias got taken down, and he couldn't summon out the Fleur de Lis because there was no special summon monster on the field. And once all of them were cleared, remember, even if there's a special summon monster on the field, Ecclesia doesn't have any sort of not Ecclesia, Fleur de Lis doesn't have any sort of negation unless there's another monster on the field that is a Dogmatica. So from there, I eventually got to a point where I was able to actually output a second monster onto the field after I cleared the Ecclesia, and then I went into a Union Carrier. And then from the Union Carrier, I was able to actually push forward. Eventually ended up with a Borreload Savage on the side. And once I got that Borreload Savage on the side, the turn after was basically create, with the Union Carrier, put a Block Dragon under the Angel Trumpeter. And once I got the Angel Trumpeter with that, I just turned the Angel Trumpeter into a Link Spider, and that allowed me to fetch my cards. And it was during this particular part of the play, time was called, and I was about to swing for game. So I was going to use Block Dragon, and I showed him, like, did I have any access to any way to actually link this off, because I actually burned a few cards during the initial combo because I threw away the Cerberus already, and all I did was I just needed to show him the IP Masquerena, and I also had the and I also had like a Unicorn was still left, so it could have been IP Masquerena or Unicorn to go into the Access Code Talker in the revive, and that would have been game. But time was called, and yeah, that was basically it for me for that round one. So I took a loss on that one into time. It was nice to actually play against them, like just kind of getting used to the interaction between other players. I'm sure a lot of them also are a little bit out of practice because they just don't have the time to play as much, but it was just nice. I guess I gave them a little bit of a scare when I was able to push through the token collector. And then round two, I played against Esala. He bricked game one. He bricked pretty bad game one. He had a bunch of Dogmatica cards. He like doubled up on a lot of cards, and it was just not that handy. And I just built I basically just pushed through it, and that was that. Game two was a little bit more interesting, but I think he punted it pretty badly because he misread the interaction In fact, he could have. I'm pretty sure he's pretty sure that there's no way that I could actually won that if he actually played that one correctly. So he opened his board with set 4, one of which I knew what it was because I believe he Lilithed it out. It was a Sanctum. So he had a Sanctum set, 2 other cards, and then another set. So there was 4 card set, knowing that only 1 card of it was Sanctum. All right. And I opened my hand. I had Imperm, Guardian, Analyzer, and that's basically the 3 cards I needed to kind of play out of it. The other card I also had in my hand was like, I believe it was like a Miracle Rupture or something along those lines, just additional bodies overall. And I just ended up pushing forward, starting off with a normal summon of a Guardian. I thought that he was going to, he did not shotgun his Scythe, because he just thought that I would probably have a Dropless. In fact, he actually thought that I had a Dropless the entire time. So what would happen is that I would summon out my Guardian, and with the Guardian out, I can negate the Scythe, which is why he chained his Sanctum, and then I had no response for the entire chain. So then he go in for the Dogmatica stuff, his Conquistador plus his Sanguine summoned out dude, Conquistador popped my Guardian, and then his Scythe got summoned out. However, when his Scythe got summoned out, I impermed it so that I actually was able to keep my extra deck live, and then I special summoned out an Analyzer, and then I just kept on pushing from there. And the Analyzer hit. I also had like another card to actually give me the additional monster, and then it was full combo from there. And that's Esala could have actually waited for me to actually summon. I had a Researcher in hand. He could have waited for me to actually drop the Researcher, and then if he did it, I wouldn't have been able to imperm. The only way I would have been able to imperm or negate it was if I had a Droplet instead. So that in that case, Droplet would have a bit more value compared to the impermanence in that particular case, which was pretty neat. But like that's how I went to 1-1. Next game against Paul from TeamAPS. That was a very interesting game because I actually had a slight mace play in game 3. Game 1. I knew he was playing. I knew what he was playing because he was already streamed. So he was playing Grand Maju. What I did not expect was how he was going to break my board. So I actually negated most of the big threats, but then he finished off with a Gizmek. He put out the Gizmek, and then I'm like, oh, I can't really do anything because I already negated some of the stuff that was going to pop off. Like he got off at Bigfoot, he got off at a couple other cards, and I kind of just negated most things. And then it happened. He got a Thunderbird, and he played the Thunderbird. He overlaid the 2 into Draglubian. Draglubian went into like Numeron Dragon attacked me for 9k over my Union Carrier, and then I died. So that was a OTK from his part. Game 2, I let him go first. I sided into my Lightning Storms. I drew into a Lightning Storm and had an Analyzer. Like these 2 cards are like basically so good together because it just creates such a safety net without burning a normal summon, and you can keep on getting additional bodies. So that's exactly what happened. I stormed his back row, cleared his There Can Be Only Ones, special summoned out the Analyzer, and then I just pushed for game, and that was it. Game 3, he let me go first. I built my board, all right? I built the board. It was good. Oh, it was actually pretty good. But then what happened was that he started to use a lot of danger effects, and I did not... Like, Appaloosa's pretty useless against that. So then, his hand actually consisted of he drew multiple times for one thing. He actually played Pot of Desires. He resolved it successfully, drew 2 additional cards. He started using Bigfoot. Bigfoot attempted to pop my cards. So that was pretty devastating, I would say. But then, overall, nothing really mattered at the end because... he just ended up burning the Borload Savage. He burned the effect of my Herald, and let's just say the rest of the effects don't really matter because all that happened was he played a Golden Castle. I thought he activated the effect, but he apparently didn't. I got a little trigger happy. Let's just say that. I got trigger happy, and then I chained my Cosmic Cyclone to his Golden Castle, and that's where everything went down because I thought he was going to go for Hextrude and try to pop the rest of my board, which was like already a little bit flimsy. And so then he dropped a Eater of Millions. I dropped the second Eater, and then I was like, oh my god, please don't do this. And he just summoned out a Grand Maju and Gizmek. And then I took about 15,000 to the face, kind of like what I did to Blair. And well, instant karma, what goes around comes around. So then I died to Paul, and that's how Paul ended up playing Jesse Cotton in the feature match. And that was basically for one of the top 4 spots. And that's how I was basically done after that because I was already X2. And then I played against Xu. Xu, long story short, Game 1, this is my hand. I had Doki Doki, Doki Doki, Doki Doki. I had also an analyzer, and of course I would have the best monster in the entire deck. I had a beta. This was my opening hand against Xu, and I won the die roll. I'm like, there's no way I can actually resolve this. I mean, if he had no hand trap, then great, but clearly he did. So I'm like, well, the best summon here, well, this one's gonna get negated and basically the game is gonna be over. So what I did was I summoned out Analyzer, hoping that maybe he wouldn't actually stop this, maybe he would just let it go through. Activated the effect, he veilered it, and then I'm like, Xu, just show me like 2 dragons. And then he shows me like a Chamber Dragon Maid. I'm like, oh, that's over, that counts as 2 dragons. So then we move on to the next game, and this is where I kind of just fumbled at the end because, well, first of all, it doesn't matter as much anymore. I had an Angel Trumpeter. I believe I also had an Analyzer in hand. Man, Analyzer just loves me. And I also had an Adhara. And here's a little fun fact for all of us guys. Like, the reason why Adhara is so good is because if you get Nibiru'd while you hold an Adhara, you can special summon out the Adhara and keep going. That's one of the best features about this, because you can special summon it while you control no effect monsters. If you control no effect monsters, you can special summon out this card from my hand, which is where I made my mistake, because I used Unexpected Die to summon out the Trumpeter, alright? And so then I had a chance to special summon this one, and I also had a Foolish Burial. And the Foolish Burial at that point could have straight up just went into Block Dragon and really just pushed all the way through. But unfortunately for me, I decided to go into, like, instead of summoning out the Adhara, I just went for the block. And basically everything kind of fell apart from here, because there was no way for me to actually push for it after I got hand trapped twice. And that was the end of Tombox's run in the tournament. If I special summoned this, he just told me, if you just did this, you could have forced out the hand traps here. And once you force out the hand traps here, once you go for the Block Dragon, I have to stop it. And then you could have just, like, oh, made Crystron and did the full combo anyway. And yeah, that's what he told me after the fact. And then I'm like, oh, 6 minutes in, all right, we're done. Seems like he's got this. I'm like, just show me 2 dragons and I know exactly how that's going to end. And basically that was the end of my run. So that's my full tournament report, guys. If you guys enjoyed it, this is my rock deck. What would have I changed if I knew what was going on? If I knew my opponents, then Red Reboot would have been shoved into the main deck, like, hands down, because it just makes the matchup so much easier when you have that. And since people do play trap cards, and it's just 1 card anyways, if you have it, you have it, and you can even use it to stop imperm, so it's not even like that dead of a trap card. It's overall just one of the strongest trap cards for you to actually play against, you know, some of these more control-y based decks. And well, that's all I got for my tournament report, guys. So what did I learn? Do you guys want to see this mat here? Sorry, this is some of the stuff that they gave me. They didn't give me the coin, that was just mine. So this is the stuff that they gave me, the poker chips. And I also learned how to shuffle my poker chips these days. Oh, that was embarrassing. There we go. Like, this is really cool stuff. We got, like, the full set of the entire die. This mat is, of course, for us to keep. Let me just move myself around so you guys can see it. See, this is the mat that we got to keep. And that's basically my full tournament report. And remember, there's this giveaway that is still happening, guys. Check out the link down in the description. And if you're lucky, you'll win both this mat and the mini mat to go with it. I was just trolling, just showing you guys one of these. But yeah, you can get both of these for sure. And I've got an upcoming ruling video, which is important because it's actually a ruling video regarding the stuff that a lot of us ask the judges there on how some of these cards resolve. I actually took notes on it. I still have it right here. So make sure you guys stay tuned for the next video, as I will cover a lot of the relevant rulings to some of the biggest cards in the game, such as Droplets, Triple Tactics Talent, and some of the stuff that actually occurred during the tournament. Alright, guys, so make sure you guys stick around. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. If you guys enjoyed my tournament report, revealed the mystery of what's going on, well, hit that thumbs up. And of course, by the way, guys, this is actually very important. I'm going to be getting married this Friday. So if you guys made it to the end of this video, that's probably why I'm not making videos very much next week. So Nishi will be taking over again for the most part. I'll be back very soon, and make sure there is also like a different channel that I'm starting off very soon. I just couldn't kick it off because of the remote duel, but now that this is over, it's time to get the other game started. All right, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one.